Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, I'm back and I'm bad, the original bad boy. Long time ago, in a land not so far away, there was a young man that very quiet and very reserved, mainly because of some things that were occurring to him at home. Needless to say, he became withdrawn, and the local bullies took advantage of that. And they proceeded to beat on him. Even broke my nose. Well, that little young man's mother and father put him into martial arts, and he did pretty well. In fact, he did real well. Got to the point of black belt. And there was a fella that liked to pay particular attention to me by the name of Tony Hayes. Went to Parker's Chapel. I have no problem saying that name, because I'm not afraid of any repercussions at all. He broke my nose. Later, push came to shove. He had picked on me from the time I'd started at that school, from 3rd grade till I left in 9th grade. In 10th grade, I'm in El Dorado High School, and that summer I was out front yard raking some pine straw, which is pretty normal in South Arkansas. Him and a few of his cronies pulled up, and he proceeded to tell me he was going to kick my ass, and I proceeded to ask why. Very logical young man I was. Why? Because he felt like it. I told him, you better make it count and you get one shot. He did. I bent at the knees, never actually hit the ground, and when I came up, the look on his face was holy terror, and I proceeded to beat him with an inch of his life. A couple of people jumped in. I whooped their ass. Y'all probably already heard about this, because there was a fella that showed up later that was a captain of mine, and he watched the end of that fight. The long story short, Tony never picked on me again. I saw him a few times around town before I left town. But about 20 years later, I got invited to Parker's Chapel, class of 88 high school reunion. Friday night, I showed up, and he was sitting there right at the gate, greeting people as they came in. Hey, you remember me, Tony Hayes? I said, yeah. And as I stuck my hand out, I didn't recognize him, but I knew the name. I squeezed his hand very tightly, as tight as I could. And I said, yeah, I remember you, SOB, and proceeded to tell him exactly what I thought about him. I ain't scared little boy anymore. I'm a grown man. And boy, I got news for you. If you get within 20 feet of me, I'm going to put you in the morgue this time. I reached in my pocket, and I had purposely brought about $3,000-$4,000 cash with me. And I showed it to him. I already brought my bond money. I ain't got no problem putting you in the ground. Do you understand me? Don't come near me. Don't get around me. And God is my mercy, as my witness. I will show you no mercy. Turned out later that him and his wife were one of the organizers for this reunion. They decided not to go to the rest of it. He and his wife sat up at the top of the bleachers where everybody else sat down near the front. We were all talking. I was talking to some friends and some people I knew from back in the day, and I had quite a few of them come up and tell me thank you. Tony had done similar stuff to them over the years, one way or the other. And he was one of the reasons they didn't want to come, but they came anyway. What I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is every dog has its day. This dog had his day. I have never regretted a thing I said to him. I have never regretted squeezing their hand to the point I think I cracked bones. And ladies and gentlemen, as God is my witness, if he'd have gotten within striking reach, I'd have probably been wearing an orange and white jumpsuit for the rest of that weekend, but I really didn't care. It was something that had bothered me for life until that was settled. What I'm trying to say here is, people, what you do, your kids do. And what your kids do can affect people for the rest of their life. You really have no idea how a crossword can stick in somebody's craw. You may not remember it, but by God, they will. Teach your kids to hang out with the goofy and the weird and the kids that retract to themselves. They may be dealing with issues at home that you don't know about. And if your kid is dealing with issues at home and he's striking out at others, well, somebody needs to step in and give him an attitude adjustment. I heard that Tony had kids, and I really hope he got his demons taken care of before he got married and had kids. I really do. Because what he did to me affected me for years. And in some ways still does. Peace, love, and nacho grease, and catch y'all on the flip side. School starts soon. Have that talk with the kids. Tell them to hang out with the goofy kid sitting by himself. Might find a friend for life. I found a few.